In this video, we're going to be talking about function. What's a function? A function is a block of code that performs a specific task or set of related tasks. A function helps you organize your code into modulars and also make your code a reusable component. Function with function, it helps to promote code readability, and also it helps you to be able to maintain your code. Okay. So what the reason for function? Function is also the major reason for function is for you to break your huge code into smaller tasks. Okay, that's why we that's why function was invented. That's how you use a function. So instead of having a huge task, you can just break it into different functions so that you can easily maintain it and also know where particular thing is in your code. That being said, let's dive into the code and let's create a function. So open your terminals, clear screen. Now let's create a file called with vim called function.py. Hit on I to switch to insert mode. Okay. Now, how do you define a function? A function is defined using the def keyword followed by the name of the function and parameters in parentheses. I mean, you use the def keyword. Let's call this function greet. So let's put a parameter here. Then here is the block of code. Block of codes. Okay, here's the block of code. You can continue down. When you want to end it, you just come out. You just leave this. You remove this console from this indentation. You're outside this block of code now. Okay, you're outside the block of code. So that's how you create a function. Now let's go. Let's dive deep. So let's give a variable parameter. Parameter are things that function carries. Let's give it a name, for example. So our block of code is going to greet the person that enters the name there, or the name we enter there. Let's print hello, comma space. Okay, code plus name. So whatever name that is entered there, you say hello, the name. That's how you define the function. Now, how do you call a function? You call a function by calling its name. If I want to call this function, I'll just call greet. And once I call greet, inside greet, I'll put that any name I put inside to accept it, and it will print hello, the name. So let's do that. Let's call the function called greet. Bracket open. I'll put my name there, David. So doing this now, you call this function greet and print hello name. Let's execute. Escape colon WQ. So now to execute our code, we type Python function.py hello David. Okay, now this is how you define and call a function. You can also do different. You can also call this function, last time I say call it again, greet. Okay, let's use insert keyword first. Switch to insert mode. Greet. Call the function again. Put another name. Let's say Samuel. Close the function. Escape colon WQ. Then we go back to Python function.py. So hello David, hello Samuel. Okay, now let's go back to our code. So you can call this function numbers, countless number of time. Just anytime you want to use it, but just call it so long you've created it. Okay, now there are also functions that has return values. Okay, when you assign a return value to a function, or you put a return statement to a function, the function returns a particular value which can be accessed outside the function. Let me explain better. Let's switch to insert mode. Let's say we want to add two numbers. Okay, let's call this function add. Let's call the first number A, comma, and second number B. Okay, our column, don't forget. Now, when you use the word return, A plus B, this return keyword returns the value of A of the sum of A and B. So there are different the way we just we call the function of just now, the previous function, which was greet. We can't call the same. We can't call that function like that. We can't call this function like that. All we can do now is to assign whatever this function returns to a variable. Doing so, we just create a result variable. We say equal to add bracket open A, comma B. So what this does is we call a function the way we're supposed to call it. This is how you call a function, but we have to assign it to a variable. Okay, for whatever is returned here be stored inside the result. Then we can print the result variable. Okay, this is one way to access a function. Print the result. This is one way to access the function. But inside this value, let's change this function to these parameters to numbers 4 and 8. Okay, let's move this space here is too much. So now the function add has the value 4 plus 8, which is 12, and assign it to result. So whatever it adds here, it returns it, so it assigns the value to result. So result will be printed out. So 12 will be printed out instead. So let's save and execute. Escape column WQ. Now let's go back to, so it returns 12. This is one way to, let's vim I for insert. This is one way to display a value. Yeah, if we were to, we can also call this value, this function, in this manner. Let's copy, delete, let's paste it inside here. Let's paste. Well, if I type this thing would have been better. Okay, now we can also call the function like this. Okay, so whatever it returned, it will be printed out. This is a short form or fastest form for calling a function. Let's say column WQ. Let's execute 12 again. So I to insert. So this is how you call a function, and a function will return. That's how you access a function with returns. Now there's also called default parameters in function. Some function you can just set the default parameter in a function that anytime the function is called, if the parameter is not replaced, the default parameter will take precedence or will take action. Let's define the function called power first for a better understanding. Power bracket open. We want to do something like 2 raised to power something or 5 raised to power. So the base value and the exponential value. So it will be like the base will be like 2 raised to power, then the exponential will be like 3. Okay, 2 is the base, while the raised to power something, that's the exponential. Okay, now what we're going to do is like return base. If you did my operators, you know what this means. This is raised to power expo. Okay, if we put 2 in base and we put 2 in and we put 2 in expo, we have 2 raised to power 2. So 2 raised to power 2 is 2 times 2, which is 4. So if we put 2 in base and we put 3 in expo, we have 2 raised to power 3, which is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 2 times 2, 4 times 2, which is 8. Okay, now let's assume that sometimes we might enter exponential, sometimes we might enter exponential. Let's put a default value here. This is why this is called default parameter. Let's put it 3. Whatever value we enter as base, if we not put exponential, it will take 3 by default. So let's run the code now. S E X is equal to power bracket open 2 raised to power 2, then x. So let's call this one example exponential 1 exponential 2. So exponential 2 is equal to power 2 raised to power, okay, just 2. So this one now, the second value exponential 2 will take 3 as the exponential, because that's the default that was set there. Because there's no value given to it, it will take the default. Now let's print exponential 1 exponential 2. Print print exp, okay, ex1 bracket close, print ex2. So the first one we're going to get 2 raised to power 2, which is 2 times 2, 4. The second one we're going to get 2 raised to power 3, which is 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8. We're going to get 8. Okay, now let's execute. Escape colon WQ. So we have 4, which is 2 times power 2, 2 times 2. Then we have 8, which is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8. So you get it. That was how a default parameter works. Okay, let's go back to our code. So if you are hitting your code, make sure you know how to use default parameter. Apart from default parameter, there's what we call scope in Python. Scope variable are variable that they are accessible inside the function but cannot be accessible outside the function. Right? Scope variable cannot be accessed within the function or not outside. If, for example, in this function now, I created a variable called then or da, which is equal to 45. See, this da of 45 cannot be accessed anywhere except inside this thing, inside the function. Cannot be accessed anywhere, cannot be accessed outside here, cannot be accessed here except this from this indented block, cannot be accessed outside this indented block before the return. Okay, cannot be accessed outside the indented block before the return. So wherever you enter here, just know that every variable declared within the block cannot be accessed outside the block. Okay, but any variable declared outside the block can be accessed within the block. That's how it works. All right, thank you for listening.